Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. Today we are going to be working on the front section of the space station, specifically the flight deck, where we're going to have a kind of massive, you know how we've got launch tubes here, like for small fighters. We also want ships to be able to instantly launch out the front towards the moon, such as, I don't know, a drop ship. So if we have a look back here, we can see that we've already got some side entrances. So we've got one here with observation deck to be built, and one here which is also going to have an observation deck. Computer is now telling me that I'm low on oxygen. That is true. Let me do that. So the way that we're going to be doing this, instead of using the force field doors, we're going to be using regular airtight hangar doors, because I feel that that will make it look better, possibly. If I'm wrong, then I am wrong, and therefore we'll change everything around in a painstaking fashion, but that's fine. I did die, and so I had to recreate all my tools, but that's to be expected. So if we throw ourselves all the way over here. Now, to be able to build this hangar, to be able to build this, the rest of the flight deck, that's a better word, we need to actually start thinking about what we're going to have on the front, as in the front and the back. What's actually going to be there. We can't just have a flat surface. Well, we can have a flat surface, but it will look absolutely horrific. So what I'm thinking is that all the octagon-shaped pieces, so these trapeziums on the top, left, right, and bottom, will all kind of slope into the square shape that we've got in the middle. If you can see the square shape, it goes from here all the way up to here, to there, and it's kind of a square. So if we do that, that would be good. Even though the bottom bit isn't going to have a square, it still makes sense. So we need to figure out how long this is going to be. So we'll do a thing here. We'll continue extending until we reach the same level as the floor, and then we'll see how far that is. And then obviously we're going to do the same kind of big version of this, the inverted corner, but here. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, give me a second and I will get this done. Okay, so what I've actually done is I've increased the length of this area by 3, so that we can have some kind of door here without it being a bit weird. But basically I've extended the station by about 3 blocks. I don't think it's a big deal. Right, so I've also duplicated it on the other side, realizing that, we're not creating a inverted corner, we're creating a corner. So it's basically the same as we've got over there, but upside down. So instead of starting with a inverted corner, we start with a corner and go down like this and continue. Now you may not be able to see that well, so I'm going to turn the lights because the sun is, doing its merry jaunt around the solar system. Or, no. Yes, it is doing a merry jaunt around the solar system, because it's not actually part of the solar system for some reason. But really, if this game also included orbital mechanics, then, well, the speed limit would need to be a lot higher, because you can't have orbits that are only 100 meters per second. Right. I'm just going to continue doing this. And then I'll duplicate this on the other side, but if you can see the effect, let me get my welder ship, and then I shall show you the effect of what this would do, which is this. Yeah, so it's kind of a bit, it's not perfect, but I don't need it to be perfect. So yeah, I will continue doing this, and we'll be back in a second. So we've now finished the tetras, I believe they're called. Corners. They're called tetras in other games. So, now that we've got this area which we can have a hangar exit, what we need to do is actually create the door. And to do that, we are going to use 2 blocks. The airtight hangar door and the airtight hangar door 10 meters. The 10 meters stretches 10 meters, also known as 5 blocks, and then the regular stretches... I forgot. But basically, what happens is we put the regular here, yeah, you can see that it covers 2 blocks, and then we put the other one up here, and then as you can see, if I get a regular block, as you can see, here's the edge of where that one will head to, and then here's the other one. So basically, with these two here, they combine, and then you've got a door. However, problem number 1, you've only got a gap that's, what is it? 1, 2, there. 1, 2, 3. Not helping here. You've got a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks, which is about 12 meters. That means some ships may not be able to get through, so I may want to actually find another airtight hangar door. Yeah, what are these? No, those are airtight doors, we don't want them. These are the 45-degree and corner ones. So we got a 15-meter one that we can try. Let's have a look at that. We'll get rid of this because I want to make it so that it's easy to get out, and having a restricted area in which to do so is bad. I just have to flip it around like this. So that's 3 blocks, and it goes down to the bottom. Ah, good, right. So we can either have that on the bottom or the top. I am more inclined to have it on the bottom because you may have ships docked that you don't want to, you know, destroy. So let's do that. That is a 3-block high though. Yeah, it's just like a regular thing. Want to make sure it's the right inclination, and then it's like 1,000 steel plate per one. We're going to need to move the ship over, but I can just place these for now. Actually, I have a better idea. So what we can do instead is we can have we might need to change how this is. But basically we have a strip under here to keep it airtight, yeah? And then what we do is we lower these by 1 block and then add some sort of other section at the top, like we've done. If I go all the way over here, I'm going to need to anyway to get the ship, like we've done here, you know, with the it goes inwards. So basically it adds some texture, is that the right word? Probably not. To the space, to the door. So let's get in. Stop holding an object, it's just going to get difficult. Let's set sail, as some might say, though I wouldn't. Right. Just need to maneuver. Here should be good. Right. Good, it's not moving. I was wondering if it was. Right, let's get out here, and then let's get in our welder ship and weld things. So we've got a port here for me to easily access materials. Okay. So get rid of these. And as you can see, the ceiling's already changed so that I can do this easier. Yeah. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to strip along here. No, that's not what I want. I want it one more along. I want it on this middle section so that it looks better. Right, middle section here. Okay, and then because it's a tight area, we'll put these here and do the same on the other side. Actually, no, we're going to need to wall this off anyway, so that's fine. Then what we need to do is we need blocks like like slopes. There we go. We'll sort something out for there. We want one of these, flip it around so it's in the right position. Throw another one here. Another one over here, and then do the rest, and then we'll weld. Where's my welding ship? Because I always forget where that is. Over here. Nearly killed myself there. If I was going a bit faster, I would have. Right. Slow down, you maniac. You don't need to go at the speed of sound. Just need to go a third of the speed. No, you don't even need to go a third of the speed of sound. You just need to go 30th, no, 10, no, 90th speed of sound, which should be about 10 meters. Unless, you know, I've got my maths wrong, which I usually do. Right, let's throw ourselves out here. So, this is the effect I'm hoping for. This kind of effect. Yeah? Yeah? Effect. And then we can have the arching on the top. Since we don't... since we're going to do something with these, we're going to make them airtight corridors where you can walk around even while the hangar door is open. Basically for observation or getting into the hangar. So that will be fixed later. And then we want to get rid of this bottom section. Hoping not to disconnect two halves of the ship here, because if we do, that's a very, very bad thing. Actually, no, it isn't, because I can just easily repair it. So if we get this, so essentially it's going to be like that. So it's now 2 blocks higher. Except that we're going to move over like a few blocks. Yeah, move over a few blocks. Because that's in the wrong location. So we didn't actually need to do that. Oops. We want to put this section to along here. And then go. Though I'm going to need to fill in this bit anyway, so there's no point in not doing it. Then I'm just going to do another area so that, just in case it's not actually airtight, because we're going to need it airtight at some point. You went a bit too far there. Two more. And then all the way back here. Then we'll weld. I should really stop going really fast. It's not going to help. Right, welding ship. Weld it up. Gonna run out of steel in a second. No, we've got about 3,000 left. That should be enough for this. $3,000 by 300 divided by 2. So that's... No, that's the wrong thing. No. Can't do mental maths. I can do mental maths, but I'm really bad at multitasking. Right. That's there. It's going to look better later. I will keep reminding myself that so that I can actually get on with doing this. Right. Orientate yourself. Then we want it on this lane. So if I've done this correctly, I should not be able to place a block here. See? Can't place a block. That's good. Right. And then we need to fill in here, which I'll probably do by hand, because each of these hangar sections takes up 1,000 steel plate. And that's not something that I'm keen on wasting right now. There we go. I'm going to need a refill of steel plate before I attempt this. I'm going to weld all the armor blocks up and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to repeat this top bit and do the same thing again. So basically increase the size of this. I basically reduce the width of the open area by 2 so that I can make it look nicer. And I mean, you're not going to have a really flat ship in here, because no ship that I'm having is going to be the size of this flight deck. If it is, then it's in the wrong hangar bay. That kind of thing should be in like a dry dock, which I will build, he says. Right, so I'm just gonna do this. Weld it all together, and then we will input the hangar doors so that I can actually use a welding ship without sacrificing all the steel in the known universe. Because doing that would be a bad idea. No. Wrong one. That goes here. You go there. And then... flip around. Yeah. Continue. So once we've done this, the only thing that I need to do to finish the flight, like to finish and make it functional, is finish those launch pods. Once that's happened, we're all groovy here. And then we might work on something else, or I might continue working on the flight deck, because currently I'm really enthusiastic about it. Mainly because I've just finished watching Battlestar Galactica, and the Galactica has a flight deck. This is kind of it's kind of the idea of where I got the entire thing, you know, the launch pods and things like that from Galactica. I would recommend the episode 33. That's not the episode number 33, but that's the name of an episode, which you should watch. It's actually in season 1, and I believe it's the episode after the pilot. pilot episode. Though the end of Season 1 cliffhanger's very fun, but I won't spoil anything. Right, let's weld this all together, because we're all in this together, apparently. So the only problem will be that it's kind of sticking out, the hangar, which is not that good. I wish I could get a shorter version that does the same length, but if I did, then I'd have to increase the, you know, how far the top bit goes down, and it's all just a mess. And anyway, ships are going to be flying over other ships as well when they're flying. So, last thing that we need to do is we just need to add these, which I need to go in here for. Now the only problem is going to be the last bit. No, it's not going to be a problem, but I'm going to have to move into a different location to place it. That was kind of a memory spike. Here. Okay, and then I just need to weld that. Yes, I know it's not available for small ships. Yes. Or the alternative is using the smaller one. Yes, using the smaller one would be a good idea. No, but then so the small one was too high. So it would be up to there and would accomplish exactly the same thing. Okay. But would it look better? That's the question. Would it look better if there's just one hangar going down, or if it's splitting apart? And also, is it going to be cheaper? Since we are in a survival game, I would prefer having survival ahead of functionality. Well, no. I need to make it cheap. So, 350 plus 700, or 150. 1050. 120 compared to 80 plus 40. 40 plus 4, yeah. This all looks, yeah, it's going to be exactly the same cost. So, I'm going to go with the one that I prefer, which is the split one, which means that we actually it's cheaper. No, it's not, because we have to move those down there. Okay. I'll be back in a second when I have my mind straight. Okay, so the airtight hangar doors are nearly finished. So I've gone for the split design, as you can see. The longer ones on the bottom and the shorter ones at the top. There we go. Just need to weld everything in place. And by weld everything in place, I mean just weld it. And then we shall get access to the control panel, and then we will combine these into some sort of group. In fact, we'll get a button. A button would be a good idea, but first of all we need a control panel. So, wrong button there. So I need a control panel. Let's head to control 2, control panel. No, that's control station, control panel, and then button. I will choose this button. So we need interior plate, computer steel, display, construction component. Right. So I need some steel. I need some display. No, I don't need you. I need you. Let's just add some more steel. We also need construction component, and we need some interior plate. Then we also need Computers, that's what it is. Yes, computers, obviously. We don't have any here, they're in here, because obviously I don't have that much computers. I'll keep those, thank you. So, we just need a button, which I will place over here. No, which I will place inside to make things look better. So if we place the button here, that'll be good, and then we'll place a control panel here. This is all temporary. Right. Now, if we go in here, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in this control panel, which is why we're going to put everything to groups and use buttons instead of control panels. So, let's group all these hangar doors together. Flight deck main door, save, shown terminal off. Okay, flight deck main door, flight deck side door, flight deck side door. We'll change that to port and starboard. Right, even though I won't be able to remember which one is which. So we can close and open these. So closing takes a bit, but it's fine. Second stage of opening. There we go. There's the door. Yay! Good door. Right, now let's attach it to a button. Hit K, and then we want groups. What is it? Flight deck main door. Throw it here. Open close. Press the button using T, and it will open again. Woot. Woot woot. Yeah, so that's good. So if this door was closed, and this was actually properly done, and these were properly done, and everything else, then this place will be airtight, which means that we can have oxygen here. Which is a very bad idea, because I would need to drain the entire room of oxygen within 10 seconds, you know, in a fighting situation, to be able to launch the heavy ships. Actually, no, because we can start draining the room of oxygen, but the alert fighters in the tubes can launch out. And they'll also get an extra push because there'll be oxygen in those cells. We just need to make sure that we don't cause a vacuum. And by cause a vacuum, I mean create a massive flow of damn it, a massive flow of air heading out into the vacuum of space. It'll just be... Why is there a button panel over there? That might have been a signal from the planet. I don't know why that would have happened. And seriously, that was not scripted. I'm not scripting anything right now. God. But yeah. I'll have to check out that planet at some point. And now it is scripted, because I now have motivation to go there. Right, so the final things that we need to do is we need to extend this, you know, that kind of thing. And then we need to fill in these gaps. And once that's done, we're good to go. Here's a problem. Each of these cells is not airtight. Well, no, each of these cells shares the same oxygen. Which means if one of them opens, then we can't load more into the bay until they close again. Might be a problem, might not be. We'll set something up, and then we'll have an observation deck thing somewhere. No, we'll have cameras. Cameras are better. Right. So, lastly, yeah, we need to do the floor, which means I need steel in my inventory, which I do not have. Well, I have 6, but I'm not only building 6 blocks. So, let's collect some steel, throw all of this back in, collect steel, and I'll be back in a second once I build this launch ramp thing. There we go, all done. So it may look a bit bland, but at some point, you know, this top section is actually, if you look from this angle, yeah, it looks complete, doesn't it? If you look from this angle, trying to ignore the station to the bottom. If only that station was done, then I could just go down here and then say, oh yeah, look at all the good stuff I've done. Yes, totally. And Photoshop out some of it. But yeah, this is the flight deck. It is the most complete section of the entire station. The second most complete section is the hangars. Then the third most complete section is nothing, because nothing else is completed yet. So, next episode, we will be working on the habitation area, which will be this kind of level. Yeah? And then at some point I need to grind off everything here, because we're going to be building a shipyard. Using the shipyard mod, because we're going to need a massive area to build capital ships, and I want it to be part of this station instead of building another station. And we'll probably have glass flooring in the habitation area as well, so that you can see the ship docked below. Kind of cool. My plan for inside here, if we go inside here, is that you would be able to come up here in kind of a lift, and then you'd go through here, and then you'd have access to the corridors. The corridors being on either side, here and here, above the launch tubes. And then you could go all the way along here, as far as you want, and then you can come here, and then you can either go out onto the main thing, or you could get in another elevator, or you could go into the observation deck. Make sense? And then the buttons for the launch tubes will be in the observation deck. So you kind of need a flight bay manager when you're launching ships, which is why I'm just going to use this entrance when I have ships. This will be used when I have like 1 billion other people on the server, which will happen, I assure you. You can yell at me if this is a year ago and I haven't done so yet. Yeah. Looks kind of cool. Wish it was a bit more elongated, but that would be even more complex building. So, habitation is next. Until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.